the gymnasts, do they have an extra gear when it comes to postseason? Do you have an extra gear when it comes to postseason? Do you kick it up a notch?
Kind of, that's a yes and a no answer. You know, you want to kick it up a notch, you want to take it to another level of enthusiasm, but at the same time, you want your team to be normal, you want your team to be consistent, and if you pour too much on, then they think the expectation is you expect them to do more than they're capable of doing. And I think right now this team has proven that their capability and what they do day to day is really good.
I asked McKenna this too. You've seen many more teams than she has. What's different about this one?
Tremendous amount of cohesiveness, like they spent their weekend together. So I mean, a lot of cohesiveness, a lot of internal motivation from each other, and they understand what their team goals are and their expectations. They kind of made a decision mid-season to define who they were and begin to march towards this portion of the season, and I think they've done a good job of defining who they are. And you know, some teams, they lose their way, lose their focus, and it just kind of flounders and stays lost. And this team knew what their expectations were, and we just got here a different way than we did the last 6 or 7 years.
How did that come about? Was there like a team meeting where they just decided this?
Kind of a huddle at the end of our meet at Auburn or Kentucky. I can't remember which one came first, but you know, we went to Alabama and took charge of that competition, and then at the gym quarter meet took total charge of that competition. And I think they just huddled up at the end of the meet and said, okay, this is who we are and this is where we're going.
This has been kind of a long time coming, huh? As far as being in your arena in the postseason.
And hosting it,
Yes.
yeah, somebody dropped the ball. You got to bid on these things all the time. You've got to pay attention to what's happening, and you know, with the NC2A and your opportunity to bid. And we took advantage of the opportunity. And you know, there were 6 teams that were chosen to host this year, and then we changed the format. And fortunately, LSU wasn't one of the 2 teams that said put it off for another year. So we're really excited to have it this year, the first year in this format.
It's the most meaningful in terms of what can be accomplished.
Oh yeah, because we've turned the corner as far as I think an organization and how we're going to run our competitions, and we've narrowed the field a little bit, and I think that it's more in line with the number of collegiate gymnastics programs there are in the country, and there's nothing wrong with having the best 4 teams on the floor and not having a bye and you know, go at it all at one time.
We talked a little bit about, obviously, it being in the PMAC, and the fans are going to kind of be pocketed, you know, towards different teams. How many are you guys expecting? You know, not how many, I guess, fans, or how many, a percentage of how many are going to be Tiger fans there? Because obviously it can get packed in there.
We want it to be the same kind of atmosphere that we experience at a home meet, and they're going to clear the arena after the first round of competition. So, you know, our fans have been able to buy tickets pretty close to their season ticket seats. So, you know, we feel very positive about the level of enthusiasm and the excitement that we're going to have in this arena. When you look at what this team was able to do in New Orleans at a neutral site, and the people that followed us there, we're hoping to do the same thing here.
Do you like the new format?
I love the new format. I do. I didn't vote for this for a couple of years, and then we've had so much success with the SEC championships being 2 groups of 4 that about 2 years ago I was convinced as a head coach and somebody who'd been around a long time that this needed to happen, because at the national championships this should happen. And our format here mirrors what we're going to do at the national championships. So it needed to happen, and I'm glad it's happening while I'm still coaching.
How did they come to that decision? Was it a vote based off the head coaches across the
We
country?
voted as a body of coaches and then passed it on to the NC2A committee, and they approved it. But it has been a long time to see this happen. But 4 teams on the floor, the very best teams in a region, and 4 other regions, you know, 4 regions in the country. It all comes together at the national championships in Fort Worth. So, you know, we're excited. But it's a process. It's going to be a longer process because it's two regional events instead of 1 at the site. So, or 3 actually, because you have that crazy play-in on Thursday. But we're excited.
April Madness.
April Madness, yeah.
We talked to Sarah about this a little
Oops.
bit too.
Sorry.
Can you fix that? You're good.
No, it's fine.
We talked to Sarah a little bit about it too. Is it a little bit more grueling on the athletes this setup?
Well, it is, but you know, we do an inter squad before every dual meet. And at home, it's more critical than our away meet. So, we try to go back to back 2 days in a row a lot. So the tricky thing is how much we let them do on Thursday before we compete on Friday. And then trying to keep our schedule, our food schedule, our sleeping patterns, everything very close to what we do at home and away.
Is it hard as a coach to let them go home and?
Well, we're going to stay in a hotel on Friday night, so that'll be a little bit different for us. We don't usually do that at home, but I just think it's important to try to have a schedule that we're going to mirror when we go to the national championships.
So this week, they still practice, obviously, but it was, an off weekend.
Uh-huh.
How did you feel about that went?
The off weekend went well. We really had a very light week last week and rolled into a pretty hard practice on Friday. And then, we've got some little naggy injuries that we would like to see go away by this weekend. So we're going to have a pretty hard practice today and Tuesday, off on Wednesday, and then have a pre-meet practice on Thursday. So going into the weekend, we feel like we'll be rested for 2 nights back to back.
Yeah, and last week you said that you wanted to get Sarah Edwards and Juliana in 2 events. How do you think that's
Well,
progressing?
Jules is ready to vault. Juliana's ready to vault. And Sarah Edwards is doing really well on floor. Lexi Priestman is our go-to person on floor, but Reagan Campbell is back. She'll do full floor routine today in preparation for the weekend. So if we can't use Lexi both days, we can switch those 2 out, possibly have Juliana ready for floor at nationals. But she's vaulting really well, and that's really where we needed the backup from her. She's training bars, and her bars look good. So, we feel like we're exercising a little bit of depth, but at the same time, we're trying to go as slow and cautiously, optimistically cautious as we can.
When you wrapped up, I think, last season, you looked ahead to next year, you said, we need to get McKenna Kelly up and running.
Yeah, 3 events. We need to get her in 3 events, and we have her there. She's our backup on beam, and in our inter squad, she's been going 9.85, 9.9, and when your backup's going 9.85, you've got some good stuff going. So she's getting the job done on vaulting and floor very consistently. So we feel like to have her ready on 3 is a badge of courage for her.
I've always been interested whether it's St. Louis or wherever you're at, that it seems like their focus has to be even greater because there's like cheers going off from every corner in the building and applause and all that, more than a regular one-on-one.
Yeah, you've got to hone in your attention and be able to block all the noise and all of those things that go on, especially when you've got teams that travel well. Utah travels well, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. So, when you're in the arena with those people and LSU, Oklahoma, be ready because it's going to be loud.